572-0383 and 572-0215. Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners and to our viewers in St. Lucia and across the globe, especially those of you checking us out on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on X, and also our friends on DBS Television. Welcome to Hard Drive for today, Tuesday. It's the first day in the brand new month of July, 2025. My name is Andre Paul. My co-host on the show, none other than the lovely Keena. Keena, good morning.
Good morning, Andre Paul. How are you doing?
I'm well.
Good morning,
all is well with you?
And viewers. I'm doing great, actually.
What does MK stand for?
Oh, jeez, you asked the last time.
I did?
Michael Kors.
Oh, I don't know brand. I don't know brand. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Hi, how you all doing this morning? I hope everybody is super fine. Welcoming the brand new month of July.
And welcoming our brand new sponsor, Joseph Shipping Agency.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Most definitely.
For shizzle.
So let's big them up. Joseph Shipping Agency, the only agency in St. Lucia with 24 hours efficient service. When everyone else is asleep, we are awake. Call us at 484-8888. That's 484-8888. Joseph Shipping Agency. A big thank you to Joseph Shipping Agency for the sponsorship. Alrighty. So, all is well there with you all? Anything you want to mention before we move on? We have a lot to talk about.
There's so much to talk about.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there is.
Groovy Soca Monarch is next weekend, so I've been thinking a lot about that and who's going to take the crown. And I'm betting on a few in the top three. But anyway.
You can mention it because
Ricky T. Arthur praises for Groovy.
Ricky T. and Arthur, you figure they'll do it?
Imran Nerdy and Mika as well. And Keisha. I'm betting on the three. Yeah.
Groovy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you betting on?
Hands down, he'll win it.
Who?
Imran Nerdy.
Imran Nerdy. But Imran Nerdy is with Mika and Groovy, actually.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about
so
Warning.
they'll win. No, he's not going in with Warning. It's another song.
You're talking to me? You talking to me?
I think he's going in with another song with Mika for Groovy. And he's with T-Blacks with...
Power?
Yeah, with Power.
That's where you'll probably have me, but no.
Yeah.
Warning is the Groovy.
You sure about that?
I am 100% sure.
Well, good thing is that they'll be in studio, so that we'll discuss.
I like it when you're arguing. I like it.
Yes,
I get quiet.
Be a spectator.
I get quiet.
Well, let's get some more then.
Because
you really want some more?
Let's get some more.
Usually it's me.
Do you have the results from the weekend?
If I have the results from the weekend?
Yeah, you do.
Absolutely.
Double check.
Fetch him.
Oh my goodness!
I tell you, the boy is funny. You know what I mean?
I love Audrey for when he gets like that. Trust me, I love that side of you. I love it. I love all sides of you, but that one takes the icing on the cake.
No, serious.
Yeah, it really does.
That's fun. My partner's not fun. So yeah. I mean, the Groovy is.
I wish
Warning.
I could bet with you right now.
If you put your money where your mouth is, $1,000. I am that sure.
You that sure?
Keena. Okay, I'm 2,000% sure.
Let me double check. Where's my phone? I want you to check yours as well.
Warning. So okay, what do you think Warning is?
Warning is a Groovy, but I don't think he
competed with that.
He's going to the finals with Warning. Let me double check.
Keena, don't double check. Hold on.
I can't double check.
Okay, if you find it, don't say anything whatsoever. Let me just say what I have to say. No, we ain't betting. You ain't betting. You're not. Whatever. But let's go. So he's singing Warning at the Groovy.
It's a good thing I didn't bet with.
No, dear, I tell her those things. I tell her those things that let me make my point, you know. You know what I mean? Andre, trust a woman.
Yes,
Don't say nothing. When you see it, let me
Why
make my
you put
point.
all women in
Trust
that? Just
a
say
woman.
trust Keena. It's me.
But you're a woman?
I am, but
you-
the
you
other
sure for
women
true?
were not part of this conversation.
You're a woman?
What am I?
You know what I mean? I said trust a woman. You're like, don't talk about women. What? You're a woman.
Oh my God. I'm
And
just
Tony,
playing.
you're forgetting what Mama said. Quite the opposite, you know. Trust no woman.
Oh my word. I haven't heard that one in a while.
I'm sorry now. Forgot the advice. You know. I say trust a
I
woman.
know, right? Completely.
Forget the advice already.
As a matter of fact, not only our grandmother said that, every time I hear the trust no woman, it comes back to 10 Commandments. It's the
Really?
last thing he said, you know. So and so and so, something about have faith in a brother. Look, something he was saying, and then the last thing, trust no woman, because you know the woman who brought Moses, I think it is either his sister or something like that.
His sister.
Brought Moses.
And she didn't tell him
I didn't
anything.
tell him anything.
Yeah.
You let all of that. I fell in love with Moses over my own son.
Yeah. And you know, when he says
my
trust
God.
no woman, the cameras pan to his sister.
That's right.
That movie's the baddest. That movie's the baddest.
Andrew, you know how much it is the baddest according to you? Every single year it plays around Easter time.
Right.
Andrew, I watched the thing.
Every time.
Andrew,
It's true.
Every year for, I mean,
These are classics. That's almost like these songs, like Me and Mrs. Jones, a classic. You can hear it a million times.
Yeah, man.
It just sounds good.
Yeah.
And you know, right now, Tony, with what they have now with enhanced technology, is to see the Ten Commandments in color.
Oh my, yes.
In color, to see the garments and stuff that they're
That's
wearing.
right.
We couldn't even appreciate that back in
I
the day.
know, right?
You betcha.
Yeah, it was black
you
and
know
white.
the slippers. I watched the slippers.
Yeah.
The
carriages, the carriages
the
as well.
slippers and the carriages, yeah.
Beautiful, man.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I'm like, and that was done in somewhere in the 60s.
Yeah, somewhere around
Andre,
there.
I jumped. I said, that's a 60s movie.
Yeah. Cecil B. DeMille.
Yeah.
That was who?
That's what was the producer of the movie. Yeah.
Cecil D.
Yeah.
DeMille.
I think he did some acting as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Acting.
I think he
The name-
did.
The name kind of rings a
Yeah.
bell.
Yeah. Alrighty. So after all that excitement,
$1,000, Tony.
Yeah, you'll pay to me by installments.
Where? Andrew Paul will help me.
yes, I'll deduct it from your salary. So you can't get away. Okay, let's send a birthday greeting to Joan Shalry in Brooklyn. This is from Charmaine. Charmaine is wishing you all the best, right, on your special day today. Enjoy every day. All right. Charmaine says that this person is a fan from up in New York City.
That's the Charmaine that made a contribution this morning?
Yes.
Oh,
Charmaine,
Good
yeah,
morning,
we have to
Charmaine.
talk. I love Charmaine, man.
Yes, man. She's such a cool chick.
Yeah.
Yes.
She didn't understand a lot of things, but of course, continue with the greeting.
Yes, and I hope we can just go there for a few minutes.
Pas ni problème.
Yes, so greetings to Joan Shalry in Brooklyn. Happy birthday, Joan. Do enjoy your special day today. Okay. Also, let's what we normally do, which is the Tommaso bread place.
Yaslin
yes.
Eatery.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Yaslin's Eatery.
Good morning, yes.
No. You have to correct him.
Really?
He said Yaslin's Eatery. So what's the right thing?
I don't know.
No. Say it like the usual.
I don't know.
No. I don't know.
Tony, you see, she forgot already. You know what I'm saying? She called it she called it Yaslin's Bakery.
That's what I actually, because you were talking about, what was she giving again for prize?
She gave some cash
So-
for one.
So I was just telling you, to
Yaslin's-
straighten Tony out. He said
No,
the
you
wrong
said
thing.
the right thing.
Oh, I thought it was you. I thought you said the right thing. All right. So today on Yaslin's menu, stew chicken, stew pork, pumpkin rice, mac and cheese,
Oh my God.
ground provisions, and tossed salad. Okay, all the good stuff.
A hearty meal.
Yes, stew chicken, stew pork,
Right.
pumpkin rice, mac and cheese, ground provisions, and tossed salad. All happening at the Tommaso Bread Place. Of course, don't forget the usual sea mouse flavors. coconut, ginger, peanut and peanut punch, and regular sea moss with flaxseed and chia seeds.
When last you ate stew pork?
Eons. Yeah, eons. It's a long time ago.
Yaslin, tell mate, just try that. After that, you're asking her for that every week.
You mean try Yaslin's stew pork, right?
Even that too. try the stew pork.
I don't think you should. Stay away from it.
Okay, you love stew pork, don't you?
Not really.
You serious? You joking?
I'm not really a pork person.
For sure.
Not really.
I never tried.
Every now and then, I'll,
Yeah.
Some stew pork.
Yeah, well, not stew. Pigtail would be my go-to thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
As
pigtail
kids,
bouillon kind of thing.
Yeah.
we
But
loved it.
not
As kids,
What?
we ate every part you could ever imagine.
You see, the thing about pork is the ears thing and the nose thing. I ate so much of that as a child.
Oh,
Yeah, we ate a lot of that, man.
exactly. Me too.
The crunk, crunk, crunk.
That's right. Yeah, I remember I craved that thing so much at Bize. At Bize there was a slaughterhouse there, and they were making the black pudding right there, and I was there watching them do this thing, and the thing was ready. It's like I had nothing to do back in the day for whatever reason. I just stood there watching them prepare this thing when they prepared the black pudding, and my mouth, I was watering. I was craving this thing, and the lady looked at me and said, "Ouvle." I tell her yes. And she gave me a piece.
You destroyed?
I destroyed that because I even.
Fast forward years later. and-
Oh wow! Sorry.
I had. I think growing up, we probably watched it a few times.
Did one?
Watched it a few times.
Someone making black pudding.
Oh yeah, man. But our whole mama everybody used to do that. Yeah.
Because of
Your
the memories.
grandmother made black pudding.
That's a mama could do everything.
Oh,
That's
wow.
Right. That's right. So I have the memories with me, but of late, the last person I saw do that was George Regis, Ancillary. George Regis, right. Mr. George Regis, good morning. I hope you're listening. If not, well, somebody will probably tell you that every Christmas, I think he does that, slaughter a pig, because he raises them, Yeah, he's pretty active. I like this man, you know what I mean? So I saw him, the slaughter of the pig, from the slaughter to the pot.
Okay. So, anything you guys want to mention before we move on?
No, let's move on. A lot of time for according to you, a lot of action.
Yeah, Tony. And just for a couple of minutes to talk about the program this morning, because I think it was really important. The different stages of a relationship, and I think the first stage had to do with the honeymoon stage and this sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is so important. And I really want to commend Charmaine for calling in and being honest about it, because a lot of us will not be honest about those things. Here she was kind of admitting on air that she's kind of going through that phase. Well, more the boyfriend, where he's kind of like, pulling back a little. And the thing is that during the honeymoon phase, this is where we do everything right.
Everything right.
I mean, we want to please, we can't wait to call, or we call 1,000,000 times for the day, right? That's that sort of thing. And then these things now, in the mind of the person, whether it's the male or the female, that shows that you are interested in them and you love them, you want to be with them. But then now one of you, usually it's one person, starts to feel you're being
crowded.
Yes, you're being crowded. Yeah, that's right.
Smothered.
That's even the better word. You begin to feel smothered and this sort of thing. Usually it's one, and the other person now. Then you begin to back off. Yeah, so one person begins to back off, and the other person is panicking because how come you? At the beginning, it wasn't so. Not realizing that's what they call the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
and it's a serious thing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's real. That's the word I was going to use. It's a real thing. For those of you who are perhaps young and listening, for those of you who are aged, I guess Charmaine has some age.
Yes,
right?
of course.
That is very real. At the beginning, you can't get enough of each other, but after a while, it starts to fade. It does not mean the person feel any less.
Or they're cheating on you or something like that.
Nothing like that. It's just that, okay, honeymoon, it's a real thing, the honeymoon stage.
That's right.
It's like, I see you asked the question about what's this honeymoon? Why do they call it that or something like that?
Yes.
Because, the honeymoon,
It's short-lived.
it's short-lived. It's true. You understand the real word honeymoon? You get married and you go on a honeymoon, whether it be for a week or whatever.
Right.
That's when, you just get married. So you're going out there. It's like a holiday. It's a vacation. So you're enjoying each other all the time
Can't get
for
enough.
that week or week and a half or 2 weeks, after that, the honeymoon, then the reality comes. You got to come back home and maybe the children, if you have
Yeah.
children already, and all of that. And, you know what I mean? Work. you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why they call the relationship part the honeymoon.
And
stage.
you know, it's really interesting that a lot of us, and I'm glad you said it a while ago, Tony, to the young people who are listening, and even those who are old as well. Charmaine admitted, like me, everybody, we're admitting a lot of things right now that we didn't know before.
Yeah.
That she was not, she said that's the first time she ever heard about that, the
honeymoon.
stages of the
honeymoon phase, the
relationship. And
stages.
first time she had heard of that. And a lot of us are that way. We just not educated. I don't mean that in any disrespectful way. We're not educated about relationships. We don't know how relationships operate.
It's true.
Yeah, there's certain dynamics, and if we don't understand what's going on, we just mess things up.
That's right.
So if the older folks are having challenges with this sort of thing, imagine the younger
Imagine
younger
it,
people.
yes, I have to agree.
Yeah. So we need to educate ourselves, and that's where shows like the Love Zone come in.
Which is so good.
Yeah.
That's
So,
a good show, man.
It's really, really good for true. Can help you improve your relationship.
And you know, of everything that has to do with relationships, which is very interesting.
And you know, when you get to that phase now, where's the honeymoon stage? The honeymoon stage is over, and the person is pursuing you. You're trying to move away, right? That is when now you need to sit down and talk about it, right?
Yes.
And hopefully you will get somewhere, because if the person still doesn't understand what you're saying, you still got problems.
I'll give a little joke. Three words. Four. Communication. Oh, 5 words. You got communicate.
Communication. Right.
Talk to the person. Express your feelings. If you don't do that, you're looking for trouble.
That's why it becomes very crucial.
Exactly.
Communication is very, very crucial in
Yes.
all aspects of a relationship.
But remember, there's a problem with communication. Huh? Sometimes you try to communicate and the person doesn't understand what you're saying.
My goodness, I was going to go there.
As well.
And if I could elaborate a little bit, I'm not sure I could. It's like you're trying to communicate your feelings to the person. This is how I am. This is how I feel about this, about that. The person just ain't seen it.
Yes, they don't understand.
Because
They don't
one, you're probably not at that level yet.
Yes.
Two, you've never been in a situation like that, and more. So it's all of that. You just don't
Yes.
get it, you know.
Yes.
And I wanted to add this little part. They may make it a quarrel situation, because I may tell you something like,
I can tell you.
say
I can tell you.
Say it.
I want to be my partner.
I want to be right.
I want to be my partner tonight.
Right. I want to be my partner
Yeah.
tonight. The person may take it as you just don't want to be with me.
That's
You don't
correct.
wanna spend time with
Or
me.
you
Why
have
every
plans to
time
be
you-
with somebody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? And gosh, man, they would. Anyway,
No, but it's true.
it's
true.
It is really
They're not
true.
understanding what you're trying to communicate.
Yes.
So I guess it depends on what stage that they're at.
Right.
So they
I
have.
have to agree. It depends on the person's what stage that person is in their life at the time, or what may have happened to them in a previous relationship that
Yes.
they're bringing now into that relationship with you.
And
That's
guess what?
why we talk about baggage in a relationship.
Yes.
You come in with baggage.
Yes.
And
I love that
sometimes
word so much.
Yeah, and sometimes they make the same mistakes, the same thing that they were doing with you. They did it with the previous
Yes,
relationship.
yes.
Yes.
Either either they did it or somebody did it to them.
But it's important even after a breakup for you to sit in that breakup and analyze everything that happened in that relationship, where you went wrong, and what you could do to correct that going into a relationship. A lot of individuals jump from one relationship into another one,
Yes.
and they only find fault in their partner, never looking into themselves and trying to figure out, what did I do or what may I have said that led to that happening? You know, because there's always two sides to a story, and a lot of the times we choose to put someone else as the villain in our story, but not really taking stock of what it is we may have done, even silently. Not even saying anything is a problem. Staying silent is a problem. And we don't see that. We just think, okay, I was very silent, and that's okay.
But Keena,
What's the
how
problem?
could it change if, for example, the person in say you're dating a guy currently, but you're dating somebody else before you met this current guy, and he was trying to communicate to you how you are smothering him. He's trying to communicate that to you, and you've never understood what he meant, or you refuse now to accept that you're smothering him, right? So that means now you go into this next
In another
relationship with the same attitude,
Doing
the
the
same thing, and you see the same problems popping up now, and you're wondering,
what's going on.
What's going
But
on?
the person needs to find out.
Wait. Did you say you want a ring or you wondering?
You're
Say again?
wondering.
You want a ring?
No, well,
Wondering.
That's why I laughed. That's why I laughed so much.
The person needs to
that
find
too.
out why is it that they're smothering that individual. It could be a number of reasons why they're doing it.
And as I said, sometimes they were the ones being smothered. And then now all of a sudden in another relationship and they're smothering the person. Now let me ask just a quick question before we move on. What would cause somebody to feel that they need to smother this person? Not that they're doing it deliberately, right? So one party has to be doing something that gives the impression to the other person that they need to smother them. There's something in the relationship that's going on that would cause the other person now to feel I'm losing grip, I'm losing something here, and I need to be in control.
Okay, I'm glad you continued because it was going to come to it right away, and I was wondering if Keena understood it. Insecurity.
Yeah, I was
Right.
Say that,
So the person has to be conveying that in some kind of way to make you feel insecure. Okay, so
or maybe the person themselves, they're insecure. They
That
came
too.
into the
That
relationship
too.
being insecure.
Okay, so say somebody like me, and I guess to some degree, Tony, you as well. This is a new business, a new organization that we have embarked upon, right? And this is like taking up a lot of my time. Okay, for example, 7 hours on air, 7 hours plus, sometimes 8 hours on the air. And when I leave now, then I become an entrepreneur. I can't just leave here. I have to check on this, check on that, check on the other. And I do not have the time now to be checking on this person who I used to when maybe I was building the place.
Yes.
I had time, right? I had time. I would call, I would go and visit, I'd do all kinds of things. But now, this is the operating phase of the business, and you don't have that time anymore. Right? So now the person now begins to read into this thing that you don't care anymore. So it has to be somebody now doing something in the relationship that will cause the person to feel, what did you say the word was? It's insecure.
A bit of insecurity. Yeah, and that's and go back to the point Tony made earlier, communication is important. So you, Andre, knowing, hey, well, you know what, we just started this relationship, building this, and now things have shifted. It's a conversation you need to have with your significant other and say, you know what, I'm a little busy lately, but maybe come along with me. How about that? You know,
No.
It depends. It depends.
4:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
No. Like, or maybe join me at work, or maybe meet me out.
4:30 in the morning?
Something.
Join me at
But
work
it's
now.
important to have.
You come to my workplace?
It's important to have a
To smother
conversation.
Exactly.
But they're now realizing there's a shift, Andre.
Right.
That's what they're realizing. There's a shift.
So why can't they
happening
realize?
with you, and they don't know what's going on.
So
So
why
what
can't-
they're trying to do is hold on and try to figure out, okay, what's happening here? He used to call me so often, and they're leaning in because they're not getting anything from you.
Right. So then, so now we go back to the communication thing again. So you communicate into the person if they didn't understand. Okay, you have to understand that during the construction phase, I had time, right? I had time to do this. I come and check it. Now we're into the phase where we are actually in business.
Right.
So you communicate that to the person. An hour.
The person invites
You're
us.
back open.
Just ain't getting it, you know what I mean?
Oh,
And
boy.
it bothers you, it gets to you, it angers you.
You know,
what I
you know
mean?
too. What
You heard what Tony just said there?
It angers you. Well,
It bothers
would.
you, it
gets
angers you.
really, yeah, infuriating. You know what too? I find in some relationships, we go into relationships and people say, you know what? I'm not going to say what happened to me in my past, but it's important that you do. Some people, we had a conversation about that before. Some people, when you tell them, it's like, okay, I'm out of there. I'm not staying. And some
I prefer that.
individuals.
I would prefer that.
What?
Yeah,
What would you prefer?
I prefer you. If I say something to you,
And you
it
go-
scares you, go about your
Yeah,
business.
I prefer that as well.
Right.
I stay.
But some stay.
Yeah.
Some
Some people
stay.
stay and it's like, boy.
and they bring it up. They bring it up at the
It's
right
like I
time.
agree to the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
But what happened now? Later on, I figure out, can I retract? I don't want to stay in this no more. I want to, but let's go back to the terms and conditions here.
anyway. Okay. So let's get on to other business. So Tony, Keena, so there were 3 homicides on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read it this morning. I couldn't believe it. I said, what? 3 homicides. The first one was a 36-year-old, Jimmy Charles of Richford Dennery, He was gunned down by some assailant. We don't know who that is, as usual. That happened on Friday the 27th. That's last Friday. Then they said minutes later, same evening, another young person, 27-year-old, Darnell Charles of Moshi, right? He was also gunned down, right? And then on Sunday, the 29th, an 18-year-old, Anthony Cox of Soufrière, was gunned down in Palmis, Soufrière, by an unknown gunman. Weapon of choice, the guns.
The guns.
The guns. That's right. The guns.
And three separate homicides occurred in St. Lucia
over the weekend.
Wow.
That's right. And one as young as 18. According to I think the English, 18. You know what I mean? As young as 18.
Kid. Yeah,
that's a child.
It's really hard to process, You know, so there's a lull, and all of a sudden it's bam, 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 bam.
That's the thing.
And
Andre, bam, 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 ain't done yet. Huh? Wait till we give you ours. In a moment, momentarily.
I don't get it.
Andre, at least
there
two
two
gone
shootings
today already.
Yeah.
There were two shootings today?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Anyway, I've been inside here. I didn't get it. I didn't check my phone.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh!
That's
so
what
tell us about that. So what? These are reprisal
We don't know.
actions or
not sure. All right. There's a voice note that says yes. One of them. I've actually sent a voice note saying
So
that's
where-
because of so and so.
So where did these things happen?
One, I think.
One in New Village and one in Dennery.
Yeah.
New Village, Cass Street.
So no doubt the one about the Dennery thing could be related to the Dennery homicide.
There you go.
So was anybody killed?
Oh, okay. My bad. Yes, because we never
said.
We
just
said, right? We just said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The one in New Village is dead.
Both gone.
They were
Both gone.
Yeah.
So 5 homicides within the space of
2 3 days.
3
yeah, something like that.
What 5 days?
Saturday,
What 5 days?
From Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday, Monday,
Saturday,
Tuesday.
Monday.
What?
Yeah. That's scary.
It's
Who's bringing in
ridiculous
the
if
guns?
you
Where are
ask
they
me.
coming from? Who's supplying them? Who's putting them in the hands of our youth?
And worst of all, they kill Tyson. And Tyson,
Yes.
Tyson was the
yeah.
one who, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They poisoned poor Tyson.
But
Yeah.
I want to be clear, really and truly. Law enforcement cannot be expected to carry this burden alone. We as citizens in the country need to do better. We know who's bringing in the guns, yet whoever knows remain silent. We know our children have guns or hanging with the wrong crowd. We give them warnings, they don't listen. But we need to do better. It's more than law enforcement at this time, and it's more than the government or so. We as a community, we as a country need to do better.
But Keena, in all fairness, just yesterday we spoke about the police crediting citizens of the country for assisting the police.
Yeah.
So maybe what you're trying to say, or you should be saying, is that we need to do much more
We need to do
as far
much more.
as cooperating with the police is concerned.
Because
What?
when we do communicate with the police,
Yeah.
a lot can happen. A lot can happen.
5?
Yeah. It's
It's like it's gut wrenching. It's like I just feel like, boy, and I'm close to tears because it's like another young man gone, cut short in the prime of his life.
Any idea as to how old the latest?
He recently
latest incident?
graduated.
I'm
He
talking about the two.
today.
The one in New Village graduated last week Thursday from
What?
the WhatsApp messages that were being sent around.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
kid.
So we're looking at
Another
probably 18
teen,
or something like that.
maybe.
Yeah.
My gosh, man! Wow, boy.
I don't know.
So, I mean, what more can the police do? What more can we do? Except, I don't know, our role as parents and raising children. It goes back to the thing about relationships again. How we are just ignorant about relationships and how to maneuver relationships. I think a lot of us are just ignorant about raising children. We just don't know
Right.
what to do, and we don't care to know.
While you were popping the question, one thing came to mind. On your program yesterday, an ex-police officer called.
Yes.
Somebody I guess you know, right?
I don't know him, but he calls regularly.
for real?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you're listening to this talk show, man, your contribution was wonderful. I listened and so on.
He's called a few times, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
But one of the things that he said that comes to mind as we're talking about these homicides and so on is that the police almost gosh, I'm saying the wrong thing. I'm about to say the wrong thing. The police almost cannot do anything about it until it happens, because what he mentioned was, imagine you as a citizen would come to tell him, and you question him, you say, but the video is there, Andre. If the person, what he was saying, if the person does not say, I am taking you to court and I'm going all the way, but they can't do nothing. That's right.
And he was saying that for a police officer to take a chance to get involved and something untoward's happened, then he has to explain now, how did I get involved in the situation. But the most important point, he was saying that the legislation now needs to be changed or introduced, where police officers have the right, if somebody sends a video or something, to go and, as I said, put the fear of God into these people. Because, but then I use a really extreme example for him. I said to him, okay, so what if somebody sends you a video of somebody planting a bomb? You as a police officer, would you just stay and ignore it? Right? So that's why he's saying, but legislation now has to be introduced. Yeah. So we have a long way to go still.
Yeah.
Because if something as basic as that, right, that the police hands are kind of tied, there's nothing much that they can do. We certainly need to introduce new legislation to deal with this, because we're living in a much different world.
Right. The more I
where
think
people
about it,
are just doing crazy things, and they're doing it in public.
That's right. The more I think about it, the more I realize nothing really could be done. Andre, and Keena, well, more also Andre, because we have spoken about it in the past before your time, is that they max you, even in your time, I remember right now, they max you. I think the max, they call it, for us checking your whereabouts.
Now that is what's disconcerting.
Your routine.
Yeah.
And Andre and Keena, if it happened today, let's just say today, it happened today, that means is today they get you when no one is around,
When
so
no
to
one
speak.
is around.
But they've been using the word max. They've been looking at you for. There are times where you're somewhere and they hear you're there, but the people who are around, they're one, and maybe there's police around in the area, and so they figure, gosh, I can't take him yet.
Yeah.
Can't take him yet. You know what I mean? And they wait for the appropriate time, and boom, again. I say that to say that again. What can the police do about that? Only after the fact,
Only
maybe
after the fact,
then
yeah.
go and try to see what we can do to apprehend this person with information. You know what I mean? Because Andre, they have to act on tips and so on. They got to do that.
Yeah.
You can't just say, well, I suspect.
Which they do, but they can't prove it. Yeah, they have their suspicions as to who is involved.
Right.
Yeah, but I think two powerful messages have to be sent. Number one message, that almost like America, I always talk about America when it comes to this kind of thing, that if you commit a crime, there's a very likely, it's very likely or high probability you're going to be caught.
Yeah.
It's like in America, for the man you could run, you can't hide. It's very rarely you hear somebody escape lawful custody and they can escape, without any kind of consequences. America, they always catch you,
That's
always.
true.
Right?
I guess.
Look, I read a story this morning.
The forensics and so on. Because
Exactly.
Yeah.
I read a story this morning about a 92-year-old guy. I actually saw it on the BBC yesterday. A black man. Okay? He raped a woman 60 years ago. 60 years ago, he raped this woman and he strangled her. And she was 75.
Oh.
She was 75.
Yeah.
And when the
He
police...
was probably really young.
Yeah, and they're telling you what they did now with the forensics and everything. So things have changed a lot. So, and they don't give up. These people don't give up. That's another thing again, because if they had given up, they wouldn't bother with the guy.
True.
The guy's now an old man. I saw the story yesterday. They went to his apartment and they said to him, Mr. So-and-so, you're going to be arrested for the murder of so-and-so. Him, huh? Like he can't, because he's an old man.
He's an old man now. He
I
can't.
guess he's so shocked that they finally caught him. And the man, they're living his life. Well,
He lived his life for that long.
yeah, like normal. He's
Like
just there.
normal.
And you could see he's there. He's shocked that they caught up with him.
USA?
That's in the UK.
Oh, UK.
So 60 years after the fact.
How old is he now?
He's
92?
92. Yeah, he's 92. So you see what I'm saying? These people take those things very, very seriously. Right? No matter how many, I guess you can argue then that they have the resources to
They
do
have the
that.
resources,
It's a big advantage. So government needs to be pumping resources into the police as much as possible to ensure, because that's one, we have to send the message to those individuals that you most likely going to be caught. Also, the legislation needs to say to you, hey, if look now in Jamaica, they're reassessing the penalties for murder, especially of children.
Children.
They say right now, because I think they have a what do they call it again, where they you're eligible for parole. Now, if you murder somebody, especially a child, you cannot qualify for parole until you've served 50 years of your sentence.
I don't even think 50 years is enough.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
50 is a lot, man.
Yeah, so what's the person is never coming back.
Exactly, Tony. Remember that they've taken
taken a life.
Yeah, it's a
I
life.
could speak for and against it. You're speaking for it. I could speak against it as well. The person gone already. It's true. I took the life. I get that. I'm just making. I'm playing devil's advocate,
Yeah,
so
I
to
get
speak.
you.
Yeah, you know. And I'm now paying for my criminal act on that person. I pay the price. 50 years after that, I'm hear this, eligible for parole.
Yeah,
I
you
may
may
not
not
get
get
it.
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the point I'm making.
Yeah, but the point Keena is making is that instead of giving you 50 years for you to be eligible,
More.
yeah, maybe
Give you more.
about 80.
Yeah.
you have to serve 80 years first. I mean,
Before
we
you're eligible.
just exaggerating.
Yeah.
But I understand what Keena is saying. I understand. Especially, I mean, you come as an old woman, 75 years old, you rape her and then you strangle her, right? Imagine you do that to a little child, Tony. And I mean, the family is devastated over something like that. There's something that happened in my life. I've never spoken about it publicly, and I guess I cannot speak about it publicly. Okay, involve an animal, right? And every time I see certain animals, I remember that particular animal, and I just wish there'd be some kind of closure. As I had never spoken about it, but it was not a nice experience. Okay, so imagine as an animal.
I was just about to say that.
And that's how I
And you
feel. Up to last night, I'm driving and I saw something and that reminded me of that. And I say, what? Boy, I wish the good Lord would just let me have closure where that thing is concerned. It's true, because I feel really, really bad. And that's an animal.
For individuals that have gone through traumatic loss as murder, they never get over it. Never, ever, ever. And some of these individuals, they are still on the run. As in the case of the man in the UK, and he was caught
60 years
60
on
years
the run.
later. And some others, they do go to prison and they're not remorseful at all.
And that's another problem
And that's
again.
another thing that people deal with. But that family carries that burden forever. And some individuals even have committed suicide because they've lost a loved one. Some individuals have gone insane because they've lost a loved one. It just changes the whole dynamics of that household. They're never the same.
Especially if it's a child. It's your child.
Definitely.
It's your child.
Definitely.
You don't want to hear about parole. You don't have nothing about
You
that.
don't wanna hear about
Let
that.
you rotten in jail. That's how people, and that's a normal, natural reaction.
Yeah. Before I forget, I want to just pop this quick question, because there is such a thing as called cold case.
That's an example of a cold case. The 92-year-old.
That's why I'm bringing it up. So what does it mean? I thought cold case means case closed. We can't.
No.
on that.
No.
It just
It
means-
was just like it's on the shelf. It's there. And we're still
And if
look.
they're-
Yeah.
That's
why
If
I'm
anything
asking.
comes up, we just go to the shelf and pick it up.
And pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine that, huh?
And that's what.
So many years have passed.
And America's no. I'm sorry, England, America, same thing. I remember there's a story I saw where a guy had committed some crime and they just could not prove it. And the detectives were following this guy for years. Again, I guess they have the resources. Following the guy to see if he's going to make a mistake. They wanted the DNA and they couldn't, because he wouldn't agree to come and give it.
To give it.
Back in the day, that's how the laws did not allow that. And they followed the guy until one day, I mean, it was kind of like upsetting. The guy spat on the pavement. And that's what the police were waiting for.
I wonder if the police officers in St. Lucia do the same thing.
No, I doubt that. We don't have those resources. The guy came out of the vehicle and went and picked up the slimy stuff, right? The spittle on the road, and they went and checked. Perfect match.
Imagine
Perfect
that.
match. So these are people who just sometimes they take those cases personally because the
Depending
crime
on
is
the
so
nature of the
bad.
crime.
Yeah, the crime is so bad. Anyway, so I'm really I feel sorry for those families now who are going through those things. You wouldn't want that upon your worst enemy. It's one of the worst things that could happen.
Yeah.
You know, I heard one of the ladies in the newscast this morning talking about one of the victims, and imagine that's her son-in-law. son-in-law, and she spoke as though that was her own son.
That's right. In fact,
The bond between them.
The
right?
relationship, they were really
Yeah.
close.
she said she loved
She loved
him more than her.
His
daughter.
her daughter that he was married to. What boy? That's amazing.
And it goes back to, in some cases, right, he might be the villain in someone else's story, and in her story, it's totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Because
Oh,
she
yeah.
spoke so
That's
candidly
right.
about him.
That's
Yes.
You know?
right.
That's why I always say, when you see people are grieving, right, even if they saying things like, well, he was a good boy, leave them alone. Yeah, let's not get on
In
their
their
case.
story, that's
That's
something
their
else.
thing, yeah. Because they say it all the time. He may not have been nice to other people, but he was nice to me.
To me.
And they know what they're talking about.
Exactly. Because it's me you're talking to, you come and interview me. That's what I know about the man. I ain't
Exactly.
going to say anything different. That's what I know about him. So let it be. You're right.
And in the eyes of some parents, you are never like an adult. You always see
still
you
a
as this
child.
little baby.
A little
Yeah,
baby.
that's how they
My
see you.
boy,
Oh,
yeah.
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 It's a little baby. I know there was one instance where the mother's the guy escaped from prison here in St. Lucia, and he went into the community and he was walking around the community like it was like a normal thing to do. The people were seeing him, and he was going to shop and everything, and of course the residents wouldn't put up with that at all, so they called the police. And the mother he was living at her house. She knew what he was doing. She knew he had escaped, and she was more than happy to have him in the house.
Oh.
Of course, the police killed him eventually. Anyway, so, well, boy, these are not good times for St. Lucia at all. I'm sure the police, as anything else, maybe you can get hardened to this kind of thing as a police officer. But as a government, I'm sure we are feeling it. We all feeling
Definitely. Because
feeling what's going on. This is not
Just-
nice.
just when the numbers were put out,
Imagine that.
Yeah,
Just
there was a
yesterday we
decrease
spoke
in
about this,
homicides and
you know what I mean?
other crimes.
compared to last year, these were the numbers,
Mhm.
and this year it's down. We were talking about that, and all of a sudden, hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, no doubt we'll get some more information a little later. So something more upbeat, the Nigerian president, Mr. Bola Tinubu, they've now officially established diplomatic relations with St. Lucia.
Woohoo!
Now that's a huge thing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge thing because diplomatic relations can go real deep. Yeah, diplomatic relations can go real deep. Right? One of the advantages of establishing diplomatic relations with a country is your ability now to trade. To trade.
Right.
Now, there's a story, I think, in Algiers. There's some massive trade show coming up. And the people who are pushing this thing say that people who now can travel to Algiers, that's why now they're thinking about having a direct flight from the Caribbean to Algiers for this particular event. They say if they get enough people who want to come, they can organize a direct flight to Algiers. And they were saying that people now who have businesses and so on, they can access over 1-point-something billion market. That's in Africa. That's in Africa. And again, we always think of Africa as being this
Poor.
poor
Yeah,
place
Africa
and
is
catching your royals.
rich
Listen,
people.
I watch the African movies. You see Nigeria there, where they make those
Nigeria.
African movies and stuff.
Nigeria.
Boy, that place is advanced. There's a friend of mine who told me that she went to a gym in that country, and she said, not even in America she had seen a gym like that in her life. Yeah, she said that thing was just world class, right? 22nd century kind of gym. Imagine that in an African country.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so this is something I think Mia Motley has been pushing for a while right now, about getting closer to, as you put it, our people,
Our people.
Yeah.
our people in Africa.
The
I like that
African-
when she says that.
The African nations.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So trade ties. That's huge. In addition to that, I think he's offering scholarships to students and so on. So I guess the government,
That's great, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they want to work with the OECS countries. I think from what I read this morning,
Because there were a
all,
few heads,
if not all, were there.
Yeah,
All
there
the
were a few
OECS
that were
heads.
mentioned yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
a game changer
It is. It is.
for many who've been wanting that to happen.
I wonder
Definitely.
who organized this
I guess we'll find out at
this
some
meet
point.
and greet.
Yeah, at some
Yeah.
point.
I wonder.
Wait, the meet and greet meaning not his trip here, but you're saying the meet and greet.
No, meaning
No,
the trip to
meaning
St.
that
Lucia.
The trip,
him
okay.
coming
Yeah,
the
over
trip
to
Yeah,
St.
coming.
Lucia,
Yeah, I
the
wonder.
president of Nigeria.
Yeah, and why St. Lucia? I mean, there's so many other countries you could have gone
Because
to.
what I heard,
You know what I was super excited about when I heard it? It's his first time coming to the Caribbean.
Right.
And St. Lucia being the first Caribbean country to come to. That's
Right.
a game changer. That was like, whoa.
Mhm.
Because prior to that, I think the Prime Minister of Grenada and I think it's St. Kitts, they were there in Nigeria. So that's a game changer for St. Lucia. It's huge. It is huge. It is great news.
And more importantly, now I think we're all aware that there's this global shift. Like in America, Trump is America first, right? You have tariffs being imposed upon you and so on, whether you want it or you don't want it. We're dealing with external forces like climate change, where they've been asking the more developed countries to give us the resources that we can mitigate just in case we're hit by a hurricane or whatever, and they're just not budging on these things. So when we have new friends who can now, since we have diplomatic relations, in terms of crisis and so on, these people are going to come to our assistance. And there's no telling what can happen, because the pressure is being brought to bear. Look, the situation of Cuba. I think Trump now, I'm going to read that story tomorrow, is putting more pressure on Cuba again. So that's why we have the selling of passports, because now Caribbean countries have to be thinking outside the box. What else can we do now to survive in this global environment?
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of things. Before you could go have your kid in the United States, and your child becomes a U.S. citizen. All these things are being stopped. All these things. You have people coming back or being sent back, deported. I mean, so the Caribbean countries are faced with some new and serious challenges, and we need help. So I fully support. Once, of course, they dot their I's, cross their T's.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because next thing you're hearing all kind of thing.
That's right. Because there are people who see this visit as very negative. Andre and Keena.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
You'll always find that.
And why?
It'll
Why?
always
What are you hearing?
happen.
What are you hearing? They say that the man is corrupt and so on.
That's the main thing. That's what they're saying.
And as well, so much is happening in Nigeria. Why is he here? See the good.
But
We always have to see the bad in everything, but it's important that we it's more than just him coming to St. Lucia and building diplomatic ties, but both countries can benefit. And as Andre spoke on trade and so on. And to add to that, even the tourism minister of Nigeria as well, she spoke about St. Lucia having so many similarities. She was having a conversation with Calix George towards the end of that event. And she spoke about, a deep cultural alignment. And she said there were so many similarities, even with our Groovy Friday night. There's something else in Nigeria as well that is similar. And she was also saying that even our jazz festival, she's hoping that St. Lucia and Nigeria can work together. St. Lucian artists could come to Nigeria, Nigerian artists could come to St. Lucia. So she spoke extensively on a wide range of things, and she also brought up the CIP program and so on, and all of that sort of stuff. So she too chimed in, and the benefits for both countries are immense, and I think it's a good thing for St. Lucia. You talk about building, wanting, and there's a lot of talk we've been saying, over the years. You know what? I want to go find my go down into my heritage, and it's a perfect time.
But as I said, the most important thing is that there's a shift right now.
Yeah.
Imagine, just think about that for a second. The possibility of climate refugees. America is closing borders. If anything goes wrong in St. Lucia, which has happened in Dominica, in the Bahamas, where you have the Dominicans who came to St. Lucia and were well received. Some stayed, some didn't. They went back. These are all the possibilities, and you can't go to America if we have a hurricane in St. Lucia there. You think America come and accept you? And no way, especially at least for the next 4 years.
Especially with everything happening now.
Gosh, I hope not. That's the only thing I could say.
Yeah. So we need to have some new friends, right? So at least there's a place we can go. We can get a shelter. You understand?
Although that's like very far.
Well, so what
when
are we
there's
gonna
a
do?
will,
How
there's
the
a
what we're
way.
gonna
flight
do?
is 8 hours?
Where?
They
No,
mean-
it's
to-
longer.
to
It's
Nigeria.
longer.
the
It should be longer.
Well, they said they're looking at a direct flight. That's what
Direct
they
is
say.
how many hours?
I'm not
wonder.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Africa, that's far.
Yeah.
Africa. Africa.
But you know, if I ever travel to Africa, I would like to go visit like those museums and so on to see what is it that they have there, to see the history and so on, the culture at the time back in the day before slavery, what life was like, what religion they observed,
For true, you know.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. For true.
I think that'd be a real cool thing to see that. So, boy, listen, we may not see, I mean, all the fruits may not live long enough to see it.
Fruits, yeah.
But this is going in a positive direction. I mean, I'd like to support it. The issue of the corruption against the gentleman, there's nothing to prove here he's involved in any corruption. It's just people's perception of him. Like you ask somebody on the streets, do you think the president is involved in corruption? Oh, yeah. That man corrupt, Gassa. That man corrupt. So it's just a perception. Now, there may be something, but I haven't found anything. So if people know that the man is not involved, at least there's no proof that the man is involved in corruption, we shouldn't be saying those things. Don't go and repeat those things, because people hear that, and we don't like to check for ourselves, and we just accept it because that person wouldn't lie to me. No, go check it out.
Just look on the bright side of things. We talk about the shared heritage all the time. About being descendants of, Africa, and about the cultural connection. It's happening now. So why is everybody like up in arms? Well, some.
The descendants of Africa. You want to talk about some more stuff, right?
Well, just sticking with the this event coming up in Algiers.
Sure.
Yeah, I was just saying it's called the 4th Intra-African Trade Fair 2025, and it's pitched as a unique and valuable platform for businesses to access an integrated African market of over 1.4 billion people with a gross domestic product of US 3.5 trillion US. Okay, it's a lot of money there. So lots of opportunities. So I just, I really support what's happening there. As long as the government, you dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure you're not involved in anything untoward. I support it.
Okay.
Without a doubt. More good news. I think in the cruise industry here in St. Lucia, projections are between 2025 and 2026, we should see over 875,000 cruise passengers.
Wow.
For the year.
Good news.
That's a year. Okay? Over 875,000 cruise passengers. These are exciting times. And I'm happy about it, to be honest with you.
Projection.
Yeah, projections, yes. Things could go wrong.
Yeah.
All it takes is a hurricane.
Yeah.
But,
another COVID pandemic.
Exactly.
But as you were about to say, I think, or maybe you did say it, we can keep our fingers crossed and make sure, just hope it all goes well.
Yes. And also those cruise passengers, when they come, that they spend some money. Because sometimes the cruise passengers just cruise.
And sometimes you ain't got no money, yeah?
They spend anything.
Yeah, really, because you save up, especially for that, you take your cruise and thing by.
Yeah.
You got no more
you
spending
can eat
money.
and drink on the cruise ship. You don't really need to go anywhere. There's shops on the cruise ship as well. So.
And I think the craft, the vendors, what they want to do is to locate them a little closer to La Place Carénage, where
amazing.
Now they will have more access to those cruise passengers when they get off the ship. Because as it is right now, at the Point Seraphin, they come, and it doesn't mean they're going to walk all the way
down
to where the place is. But if it's right there, and they come through La Place Carénage, right, so you have the vendors who are there. So let's hope that the vendors now can produce stuff that the people will be interested in purchasing as well.
Let me make sure I understand what you're saying. The vendors arcade or vendors period?
The vendors arcade. Now they move. Remember, there's a lot of work going to be done on the waterfront with GPH. Okay. So they're going to be moving the vendors.
Right.
Of course, it's not the building; it's the vendors. They're moving now to, I guess,
closer
better
to
accommodations.
Yeah,
a lot closer.
They'll build some.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
So you have direct access now. When these people get off the ship, that they can come and see what is it that you have. As I said, my major concern is whether what they have now will be attractive to those cruise passengers. So I guess the government will have to work with the vendors to ensure now, because Tony, as anything else, the people maybe they don't really have the mindset maybe to know what people would like and to introduce different things and take a little chance, take a little risk. Some people are like that, huh? They just like to follow.
Yeah.
They see what you have and okay, it working. Let me try it too.
Let me try.
Very true, and there are those who get a little creative. I've seen some of the stuff that they sell as vendors and so. Very creative. You know, some of them, like I said, the paintings on a coconut shell, for example, on the dry, was it the dry coconut, shell kind of thing? You see paintings on that, and you see paintings, and they get really creative with these things. They make sandals and so on. You know, yeah.
But the other thing too, we have to also take into consideration too, as a cruise passenger. If you have cruise, sometimes when you go to these different Caribbean islands, almost all of them have the same thing. I do not know where they get it from, but the same coconut shell thing, the same paintings, whatever. So I think St. Lucian vendors should be very, very creative and not sell the same thing that you'd most likely get in Grenada or St. Kitts or something like that.
But let me ask a good question. And I've asked this already. Being creative, is that something that comes naturally, or is it something you develop as you grow older? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. And it's such an important asset to have when you are a creative person.
Yeah.
It's a very, very important asset. Now, if you're in a business and you do not know how to be creative, you're going to be left behind.
Oh, yes.
Because you're just thinking inside the box, what everybody else is doing. And the only thing you can do is to watch what somebody else is doing, and you say, let me try that too.
it.
Especially if you see it's working. Especially if you see it's working.
And sometimes you might try it. It might be working for that individual, but it's not working for you.
Exactly.
But creativity depends on some people are natural creatives, and other people
you have to develop the
they
skill.
have to develop the skill, depending on what they're into.
Well, boy, that's a beautiful gift, boy. I can tell you, if you have that naturally, that's a wonderful gift.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when you think of Mark Zuckerberg, for example, we'll just sit there and get an idea of Facebook, or Jeff Bezos, right? Amazon. Hey, what if I could just make it easier for people to order stuff, right? That's real creative stuff, real creative stuff. Okay, you think out who'd ever think of a Facebook? Just think of Facebook. The man said he just did that on campus to encourage people to be communicating with each other and so on.
And then it blew up so much that we are here in St. Lucia. We're doing this program, and people can see us around the world.
Exactly.
Or as you would say, across the globe.
Exactly. So that's a. But if you have a gift of being creative, man, you are blessed. Now, I guess there's also another side to that, where you could be creative, but then you're just lazy, and you just don't even realize what you've got.
You can't tap into it no matter what. Yeah.
So I wonder what it is, boy, for me. If I had to develop that, if I just, I was born with being creative, because I am creative, right? I think of stuff. Tony's also creative. You are, right, to some degree. But sometimes the creativity that we are endowed with change the world. I saw one time, I think it was in an opera, a lady was doing some fancy little thing you put over on the toilet seat. Some fancy thing she did. The lady became a millionaire with that thing, because everybody was ordering that to put it on their toilet seat. Yeah, a millionaire. Yeah. There's so many stories. You have a Colonel Sanders.
KFC.
Yeah, he has a recipe. He tries to sell it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to buy it.
That's right.
He decides now to go to the bank, try and get a loan from, according to the story, over 80 banks before somebody said, okay, we'll take a little chance with you.
That's right.
Sometimes somebody having faith in what you're doing is beyond just the idea.
Yeah, but as I'm saying to you, how do you get those ideas? How did Colonel Sanders come up with the idea? Up to today, you can't help yourself. You're smelling Kentucky Fried Chicken. You want to go after it already. You want to go after that.
It sure smells differently and tastes differently.
Yeah, there's something about
There's
it.
something different about that chicken.
The secret herbs and
Today, nobody knows. Well, maybe those are KFC.
That's why it's a secret.
That comes. I understand. It comes prepackaged.
Yes,
Exactly.
it comes prepackaged.
Exactly.
So I've
Just throw the season on. That's it.
Yeah.
It's because it's a secret. And we ain't letting our secret out there.
Amazing.
And it is so much so, Andre, nothing really tastes like KFC.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? So that's really, they've kept that
nothing.
secret close to the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless Mama's fried chicken.
It's finger cutting.
Finger cutting. That was finger cutting.
Oh my God.
It's true. It's true. She had a way of frying that chicken, man. She had a way of frying that chicken.
No, she was good.
I remember that. I remember the taste, everything. She just had a way. Boy, that lady was just the best. Boy.
Yeah, I remember her, again, seasoning it and so on, letting it sit there, with the herbs and spices.
Yes. It's true.
And then put it in the flour, and she'd be just dropping that in the oil.
The times, Tony, she just try new things.
That's true.
She just try new things. And when the lady made a bouillon, and the lady put that thing in that massive pot, right? And over a period of a week, Tony, we were eating bouillon every day, And the more the thing stayed, the more it is good. Yes. Say, boy, she was the one. She had about the first shop in the Leclerc community.
Yes.
First shop in the community. She was at another level.
Oh,
but boy, when you see, you have people who can't catch the vision.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you can't catch the vision. Guilty as charged.
I think after I went away, because I used to be in the shop more than everybody else.
Yeah.
Once I grew up to a certain age, maybe mid-teens to older teens, I was mostly there. You know what I mean? Because Andrew was out. And
You were eating?
Don
What
was
were you doing?
still in school.
Yeah. TTP.
Oh yeah, eat the club chocolates. That
Yeah,
we talked about.
club chocolates.
I've been doing something in that shop, like
Maybe
helping, but also eating. TTP.
It's true. Anyway.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so let's get into the shout outs.
Yes.
You wanna go
guard?
first?
We caught you off guard.
No, I have mine ready.
You have yours ready?
Oopa ready. We're ready.
Okay. I ready. I ready
Got
like.
you off guard.
We have a phrase. I ready like you ready
You
like
ready
Freddie.
like Freddie? Oh, but they're ready like Freddie.
I
Yep.
ready like Freddie, Mikey Freddie, Muff Freddie, Abulon Freddie, Freddie family.
Freddie.
You remember what are you talking about there? By the way, these are real people, huh?
Those are
Oh,
real people.
really?
Real people.
Whatever. You got me there.
One of my partners said that Mikey Freddie works at North, but yeah, 'cause I say North South so much. Northwest. What's it, Andrew? Or the highway, the
Northwest.
Northwest, right?
That's what he is. No, I've seen him there for true. I've seen
you
him there.
have. That's
So
where
he
Mikey-
actually works there.
Mikey works there.
Okay. Wow, I've actually seen him there.
Yeah.
I thought he was just liming or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mikey works there, man.
Hey.
You know what I mean? So that's Mikey Freddie. That's my classmate and,
And
so
who's
on.
Mom Freddie?
His grandmother.
Yeah.
He's a mother and grandmother. Abulon Freddie,
The
his
person's-
uncle.
The person's real name?
Well, no, that's the name they call him, Abulon.
Oh, good shit.
And I remember him well,
Abulon, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Andrew, I remember Abulon really well, man. He
Abulon?
seemed, because we were young, he seemed tall,
Tall, right? Yeah.
but I'm not
And-
So
sure.
why
big.
the name
And
Abulon
big.
though?
He was big. Huh?
Why?
Maybe
the
because
name?
Maybe he
big.
looked like an Abulon?
Yeah, he looks
What's an
big.
Abulon?
I have no idea. It does sound like you're big and...
Yeah. But
He's still around. He's still there. But that...
no, man. I think this guy died, Tony.
I heard he was
I hope
he
he's
was
not
diabetic.
around because
Yeah, I think he passed.
Everybody... Abulon would write his name down and say Abulon. Yeah,
he would
everybody
write his
knows
name as Abulon.
it. Yeah, wait, that's not
So
his
maybe
name.
that's his real name.
No, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that wasn't his name. That wasn't his name.
Imagine naming somebody Abulon and having to write
No, don't make the thing sound good.
Exercise. Abulon.
No, that's it. Make it that
What's his
sound
name?
Abulon. I try to nice something like I did with Jerome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You remember me? Jerome Nicholas. You say, but that sound nice. I'm
Jerome.
like, yeah, but not Jerome. You understand what this Jerome? Jerome. So that's the thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they go say Abulo.
Abulon. According to Angie, J. Paula.
Andrew says that?
Andrew says
I've
that.
never heard it.
He will
Seriously?
not- because-
You do?
One of these days. One of these days.
It's the first for me. I'm floored. Oh my gosh. I love to hear you say it now.
Keep pushing my buttons.
That's something I hate when Tony does all the time, like with the hand movements. But you, I can't picture it.
I don't know if
Sorry.
you use the hand, but Tia Cola is a real thing.
Really?
I just said that.
No, I still can't believe it.
Tia Cola.
Nah. I'd love to hear you say that sometime.
Don't worry. All right.
Let's say you go.
Let's go. Anwali.
You know what I like when he says Anwali too? That sounds so cute.
All right, Keena, I guess if you're ready, set, then you can rock and roll. Then,
Oh,
if you're
I am ready.
Okay.
So I'll rock. You
What?
roll.
Okay.
How about that?
Oh, gosh.
Okay. So Josie Ann was the first to chime in. She says, "Good morning, Rev-Up family. A blessed and peaceful day to all." Someone else chimed in and says, "The three of you bring so much laughter to the show, especially today. You are something else. I love Rev-Up. Andre, start the program at 5 a.m. on the dot, okay? Because I'm waiting from 4:45 a.m. Charming here. Blessed new month to all." Thanks for accepting my call. Says, "The king will lose his crown to the mystic." I'm not sure. You looking at me? Who's mystic?
I'm looking around. The king will lose his
Well,
crown.
Mystic
to
is a
right.
Calypsonian.
Calypso.
Oh,
To mystic.
so he's
wow.
referring to Calypso Monarch. Okay.
Yes, that's right.
Most
That's
likely.
right.
But let's say good morning to Vanetta Shalmai.
Hey, Vanetta.
Hi,
Hi. Good
Vanetta.
morning.
She's
Good
listening.
morning.
Thank you, Vanetta, as always.
Much
Thank
appreciated.
you.
All right.
Okay. By the way, Killabon touché and killed was a Pepsi worker who killed every midday at lunchtime.
Still?
Oh, you.
Mm.
We're talking about this cold case in a cold case in the United States,
well-
and the police kept on following this man. So the person, his name is Touché.
Oh, really?
He was a Pepsi worker who killed every midday at lunchtime.
Well, I don't remember
Something
all
like
the
that.
details.
Okay.
I don't recall all the details.
Someone else chimed in. They sent a link. Okay. Virginia, she says, "Good morning to Tony, Keena, and Andre. It's a holiday here today, so everyone is home. Great
All
show,
right.
Andre. Cannot wait to enjoy your entertaining music, Keena." From Andre this morning to Keena until 3 p.m., sending lots of kisses to all. And she also went on and she says, "I love seeing you all in my living room. You're like a beautiful picture frame on my wall. Look at this.
Thank you, Gina.
You need to see
I
it,
wonder
Andre. Look.
what holiday it is in Canada.
Yes,
Look.
Yeah.
yes. Gina, if you can
Oh.
quickly send us what holiday it is. We'd
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well,
very
happy
much.
holiday,
Happy holiday,
Canada.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Alton Basie Robinson. He says, "Good morning, KAT team. Keena, Andre, Tony. Keena, Andre, Tony here.
What do they call us?
K-A-T.
KAT
team.
Yes.
Hey, cat. Yes, I.
Keena, Andre, Tony. Blessings to you all and the Rev-Up listeners. Andre, take a trip to Ghana. The door of no return. You will learn a lot from there."
That person being facetious.
You know what I'm saying?
Someone else
Oh,
says,
somebody says it's Canada Day.
Oh,
today.
okay, thanks. Yeah, Virginia said the same as well. She chimed in. She
Okay.
responded. Someone else says, really done with WhatsApp actually. Individual says, "Good morning to my beautiful people, Kiki, Tony, and Andre. How are you guys doing today? Blessed and beautiful day to all. Andre, a great topic this morning. Blessings and blessings upon all of you today. I forgot to say it's me, Lorena."
Okay, Lorena. What
And
is nice?
David King, he chimed in. He says, "It's Canada Day, national holiday."
David,
Thank you, David.
I'm so glad you're listening.
Yes.
Nobody came yesterday, my man. I was going to call you this morning, but time did not permit me to do that.
I sent him a message as well.
Oh, you did? All right, great.
Yes.
Great.
Also want to say good morning to Albert. Oh boy, gosh, he said to me to say hi to Andre and Tony.
Who is
He's always
Albert?
listening. He's a frequent viewer.
Oh, that's
He's
it?
in the U.S.
Oh, in the United States,
Yeah.
because we know an Albert as well. That's why.
So,
yes, no.
I forgot.
That's it?
Yeah.
You're done? All right. My turn. Pius Snappy, yeah, man. He beat everybody to it this morning. Pius, good morning to you and congratulations, meaning because you were first. So congrats on that. Followed by Dakota McGuire, Cleveland Seeley. Good morning, Dakota. She says, good morning, guys.
Morning,
Good morning,
Dakota.
Dakota.
And Pius came right back and said, welcome, my people. Thank you, Pius, again. Elvin JT Workers, the eyes have it, and they always have it. All right. Congrats. Nadia Gabriel says, good morning, Rev-Up family. Andre, to you and Laughing Keena. Blessed day to all. Oh, gosh. Laughing Keena. Elvin JT Workers, instead of the eyes this time, he says, July, my mother's birthday month. I'll give a little hint. Mine too. But forget I said that. All right. So Sharon Peter says, happy Tuesday from Sharon and Kim in South Jersey. Hey, Kim. Hey, Sharon. Nice to have you guys here on Facebook. Usually I know it's radio. So I guess you're showing Kim who we are and what we look like. That's cool too. Thank you very much. Lucita Jean-Pierre says, good morning, Andre, Tony Paul, and the beautiful Keena. Jerome, Saka Fet, buddy. I'm all right, Lucita. I'm all right, man. Once you're in the house, I'm all right. Lilia Victor checked in with us and said, good morning, everyone. Followed by D. Francis Obeis. She says, good morning to everyone. Mwah. All right, right back at you now. Barbara Augustin says, it's a beautiful Tuesday. Good morning, my favorite people. Lucita Jean-Pierre came right back and she says, good morning to my Rev-Up family and friends on Live and Radio Garden. Special birthday greetings to our Rev-Up sister, Joan Shallery. So Joan,
happy birthday to
that's
you.
right. Happy birthday to you, Joan. Celebrate in grand style. All right, have a great, great, great day. Also checking in is John Flavian. John says, good morning, gentlemen and lady. Thank you, John. Lucita came up again and said, good morning, my darling sister. How are you? And special good day, good morning to Pato, Andre Fan. Pato.
Yes, the name sounds familiar.
All right. Okay. Chris Alexander, big up Tony Paul. Is that my boy Chris, you in the USA? What's up, Chris? Warm it up, Chris. All right. Good for you, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Big up me. Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it. Look forward to the next time you touch down, all right? Lucita Jean-Pierre says, share the link, Jerome. I hope you share the live. Yeah, that's the funny part. I've been telling people to share it, and Westy Duet, a very pleasant good morning to the host, Andre and Tony, and hostess, Keena.
Good morning.
John Flavian came back and said, happy birthday to Foster Chico of Rock Hall Castries. Foster Chico, hey, happy birthday to you. Hope you see and celebrate many, many more. From John Flavian. Catherine McPhee says, good morning, Rev-Up family. Blessings. As always, Catherine, thank you. And, of course, tell Mark we say, what's up? That's your hubby. Westy Duet, a whole bunch of emojis laughing. Nancy Graceland, in for the first time. Nancy says, good morning, handsome Andre, good looking Tony.
At last.
Keena.
At last.
Good morning, Nancy.
He's a regular listener.
Yeah.
She says, let's see, right. Okay, notice I just said Keena. Next thing Andre say, we always saying beautiful Keena. When ma'am with Andre, he is so funny. Believe me, he is.
Oh, yeah, he is sometimes.
Elvin Jake, team workers came right back and said, big up, brother. Septima Joseph says, good morning to all the listeners and a blessed day. Clara Sammy, good morning, Clara. Hope you have a really special day. She says, good morning, beautiful Tuesday to all and blessings. Thank you, Clara. Charmaine Charles, happy birthday, Joan Shallery. Nancy Graceland says, communicate. Most St. Lucians do not know how to communicate in a loving way and make you feel special before letting you down. Why would you tell me I'm going out with my partners tonight saying nicely, so I feeling like you always want to be with me, but tonight you want to chill with your boys? That happens. West Day Duet, during the honeymoon, the cordless material. The cordless material. After the honeymoon, they start to wear bingo bags with all the thread in the world. Don't try to change each other. God bless you with an equipped package. Work with it. That's nice, man. West Day Duet. That's nice.
Yeah, Nancy
right?
Graceland's as well, yeah.
Christine Shallery, blessed Tuesday to all. West Day Duet, it's all about communication. Honestly, it is. Let's communicate, man. Let's talk, and communicate. Oh, by the way, also effective communication. That's kind of important. Josie Stephen, insecurity causing that. All right. West Day Duet, all cowards. Sadly, the one in Soufriere happened because of the friends you keep company with.
That's the homicide?
The homicide.
Yeah.
I just saw a couple of pics there.
So you got some stuff, new stuff, right?
Yes.
Right. West Day Duet, the hearts of men have grown cold. Josie Stephen.
I have to
That's
agree.
true. That is true.
Josie Stephen, every time you all praise them, it gets worse. Josie again, well, they killed Tyson, the dog, K9 unit. Weste Duet, there is nothing that can be done. The young men's minds are burnt. All they see is revenge. Weste Duet, Andre, you are right. They will get you even if it's 50, 60, or 70. Wow, Weste Duet said quite a bit. You may not be able to stop the crime at the moment, but you must make it clear to the criminals. Know that you will be caught, just like you always said. America has. You will be caught. All right, no cold case. It's on the shelves, just as Andre explained. It's on the shelves for some years until there is some new findings.
Right. Yes.
Right.
A brick.
Yep.
Okay. The criminals are listening and, of course, will react. Lucita Jean-Pierre, I always say, I don't want a lot of money, but my is good name, or I suppose my good name is very important. The worst thing when your name is in all la jobless corruption, Papa God. She Chub, all right. We know She Chub once she checks in. That's it. Just so people will want to go to Nigeria. I can't with all that. Weste Duet. The behavior of our people and comments made by some people on social media platforms during that visit can be very detrimental to the country.
I'm curious to know why the person would want to visit Nigeria. I'm curious to know why. Yeah.
Can you respond?
Maybe she just might respond.
But maybe that's how she feels now.
That's how she feels.
There are people who figure me is African thing. They tell me I'm African. I am no African. I'm a St. Lucian. There are people who actually think that way.
Yeah, but we go to the US. We go to Canada, we go to the UK.
Yeah.
It's another country that we're visiting. So I don't see her. Anyway, I'm sure eventually she'll change her mind.
Nancy Grace, let me see people's social media platforms during the visit. All right, okay, the next one. Nancy Graceland. Andre, Nigerians have nothing positive to say about him, and they said he never won the elections. Biden selected him. Now, don't come for me. I'm just relaying the message.
I didn't get it.
She's just the messenger.
She's basically saying that he did not win the elections. Biden
put him
Now, I
there.
heard something like
Who
that.
didn't win the elections?
How the Nigerian
President Bola.
Oh, he didn't win the election?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I've heard that.
Andre is doing his research.
Well, Trump say Biden didn't win. right? And he's still saying it.
No, but Nancy Graceland says, I'm just the messenger. That's what they're saying on social media. So she's just, putting it out there.
Yeah, but I'm saying if something is true, okay, fine. But if something is not true, we shouldn't be spreading that kind of thing. So if she knows it's true, no problem. But I'm gonna do my checking.
Do your checking?
Yeah.
You'll probably see that the man was elected. I don't know, but because people are saying that.
Well, Tony, we can only.
He was elected. He won.
He won. If he won, he won.
Exactly.
I'm saying if he did.
Right.
Let me.
How can this? Was it Biden? Elect him or put him there? I don't understand that. I be honest.
Exactly.
We have a country. It's Nigeria. And people have their elections there. Anyway. Don't understand. All right, West Duet. We sit nicely in our small island and send arrows at a high-level head of state visiting our shores. This was so upsetting.
Say that again. Was that one?
We sit nicely in our small island and send arrows at a high-level head of state visiting our shores. This was so upsetting.
Okay, well, I agree with that. Huh?
Me too.
I agree with that.
Yeah, especially now the person is here already. You know what I mean? Lucita Jean-Pierre. Like you are Jesus Christ, Mother Teresa, on the platform. Oh, please, just leave right there. Don't know. Princess Nelson. Hey, Princess Nelson. Hi. More prayers for our nation and children. Paulinus Maximin, my boy. He says, Tony, shout out Farah Capo. God more for me, please. Andre, just quickly. This guy, Paulinus Maximin, is the very fair-skinned guy that said he was here from the United States. When we had our gathering and you stopped by. Very fair-skinned guy. We call him
okay.
Right. That's him right
all
there.
All right.
He did say from time to time he listens and checks us out.
Thanks a lot, partner.
Yeah, man. So he's right. They say shout out Farah Kafo. Because him and Farah Kafo real tight.
They're tight.
Real tight.
Yes.
All right. Elsa Hippolyte says, greetings to my Paul brothers, Keena, and all in the chat room. Good vibes as usual. Have a wonderful day. Lucita Chapier says, Jerome, I love that name. It's when you say it like I do now, Jerome, you know, it sounds good. But like I said, Jerome, you growing up hearing Jerome, that sounds good, huh? Maybe that's Andre. Maybe that's what that mess with me, man. Jerome.
But true.
Josie Stevens says it's Canada Day. Vanetta Charlemagne, of course. Nice shirt, Tony. Vanetta, thank you very much. I thought nobody would notice. I'm like, hello. what's going on? You know what I mean?
What he says, the way he says hello.
You know what I mean? Now I know you got taste. You know what I mean? Now I know that. All right. So thank you. Thank you so much, Vanetta. According to Keena.
That's right.
Nancy Grayson says, Tony, I suspect you didn't drink on the weekend because you're glowing today and you look great. Nancy
got you right there.
You got it. You got it so right. I was talking to Keena about it, and I actually mentioned that.
Okay. Yeah, when you finish.
Okay. Okay. Let me try to run them through them quickly.
Oh no! I just
No,
wanted
he wants to. He did some
I checked out the thing.
research.
Okay, Bola Tinubu won the presidential election in Nigeria on the 25th of February 2023. And it gives you exactly how many votes he won. He got 36.6% of the vote. He was declared the winner by the Independent National Electoral Commission and was sworn in as the 16th president of Nigeria, May 29th, 2023. So he's been there roughly about 3 years, something like that. Okay? So the man won fair and square.
Okay. Now, they will tell you, yeah, that's what they make it look like. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is an Independent National Electoral Commission.
Okay.
So there's no hanky-panky there. At least there shouldn't be any hanky-panky.
Okay.
Just like, for example, when we have elections in the Caribbean, we have monitors.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, the monitors come from the OAS. They
That's
come from this
right.
place, that
That's
place,
right.
you understand? And they say, hey, the election was free and fair, as far as they could tell. Okay?
Yes, sir. Andre and Keena, we have what looks like a new person checking in with us and sending a lovely little message. The person goes by the name of Balbina Charles. And you know what I'm saying? That's how I know it's a first time for sure. Balbina. Yes, Balbina. I went to Ghana and visited the Slave Trade Center. It's a very educational place to visit to know about the real story of slaves. Well said, Balbina. Really appreciate that. Thanks so much, man. You just might be a new person checking in with us, or maybe you've been there but never really made a comment. We appreciate it anyhow. Peter Gillard says, happy new month, my favorite radio personalities. Remember hurricane season? Keep your eyes to the east and stay safe, y'all. Thank you. Thank you very much, Peter Gillard. And Sabrina, hi, Ann. Good morning. Good morning. She says, good morning, Rev-Up family. May Klessa, hey, May. Good morning to you. A terrific Tuesday to all Rev-Up-aholics. Westy Duet said, it's the picture that is portrait about Africa. It's the picture that is portrayed.
Portrayed.
I guess, yeah, okay. All right.
It's an
And it was the impression that we've been given, especially coming from the West.
Okay. John Flavian said, would you say that Maduro was duly elected? Just asking. That's John Flavian. Right. West End changed it, right. Portrayed.
Well,
that's what he meant.
Right. America questions his credibility. Yeah, America questions that, saying basically the guy's been rigging elections.
Yes.
But the same thing can be said. Look, Trump is saying that Biden rigged the elections.
All right. D. Francis Obeys, hi, good morning to you. She says, Lucita Chapier, tell Andre and Jerome you in St. Lucia. Yes, she did tell us that. Westy Duet, our young people are taking their own way of recklessness and leave our hearts crying as parents. D. Francis Obeys is the last one. Lucita Jean-Pierre, I'm okay on my sister. I'm okay, my sister. Oh, all right. So that's it. We're done. Not bad at all. All right. The timing is pretty good.
Nicolas Maduro was declared the winner of the Venezuelan presidential election held on the 28th of July 2024. According to the National Electoral Council, Maduro secured 51% of the votes. Now, I'd have to say anything more. The problem is that people see these independent organizations as being corrupt, depending on where,
Yeah.
who's criticizing. Okay? All right. Okay, so that's it.
That is it. Yes.
Okay, just like to remind our listeners and viewers that Hard Drive is brought to you with the compliments of Joseph Shipping Agency. Joseph Shipping Agency, the only agency in St. Lucia with 24 hours efficient service. When everyone else is asleep, we are awake. Call 484-8888. That's 484-8888. Joseph Shipping Agency.
Let me just say quickly to DBS, thank you very, very, very much. Linda, as Rambo said, I'm coming to get you. Meaning, we got to talk. I'm going to give you a call, all right? Again, thank you very much to DBS, because some folks are saying, in fact, I got a call yesterday that the listener was saying that they happened to tune into DBS on Wednesday and they saw us there. So they were wondering, wait a second, y'all are on DBS? I'm like, yes, we are on DBS. And the person have spoken to you. She said, yes, the person spoke to you, yeah.
So thank you, Linda, for making that possible.
That's right.
Thank you, Linda.
Definitely.
Kisses.
Yes.
Mwah.
And thank you,
folks-
Tony, and thank you, Keena. What do you have coming up today, Keena?
Nigerian President Bola, he has...
The man is not president. According to some of the... I said the man is not president. According to some of the chimers. Yes, okay, so what about him now?
He has received a knighthood from St. Lucia.
Oh, yes.
So
I
that's
guess they're
that.
making him feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, making him feel good.
A knighthood?
Yeah, knighthood.
Say it
You
again.
know, he's now Sir Bola.
Where's the alcohol? You tell me
Please, I may say this quickly because of time. Forgive my ignorance. Not only in England they can knight people. Huh?
No, yeah,
No.
the governor.
The governor.
You can just
Yeah.
say, so, Andre, so how many knight, the sir thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I thought it was England you had to go to for them to sue you. Eh?
No, we have that freedom.
We have the freedom.
In fact, I'm hoping one day they'll
Oh, you
knight me.
gave me, yes, sir. Andrew, I said that to Boo one time. I said, Boo, you know what I mean? He said, Boo, I don't really care about that. You know what I mean? He didn't care about that.
Yeah.
I thought, it's okay, again, my ignorance. I thought they would recommend you. You go to England, the country recommends you. You go to England and you get knighted with the sword and thing,
No, the governor general can do it
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Because, okay, again, my ignorance, realizing it now because the governor general is a representative of
The king.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So, as you were saying before, I rudely interrupted you.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah, so what? Tinubu. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that one.
Okay, just that one thing.
As well, a drug bust in St. Lucia has sparked a financial probe into possible money laundering that happened in Viewfort.
Yeah, and I think a customs somebody working in customs was caught,
officer,
and another
It's the same,
individual.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What being away from your phone for 3 days does to your brain? Can we all do that?
I don't think I can do that. I don't think.
I can do it for 2 days.
3 days, miss the hour.
I can do it for 2 days. I
can
haven't
do it.
tried 3.
Maybe an
but
hour.
I can do it for
Maybe
2
an
days.
hour.
Andrew, that's the phone.
Yeah.
I think I am just not a phone person, so it's
On a weekend,
easy for me.
I have the tendency to,
shut down,
Yeah,
kind of
shut
thing.
down.
Yeah.
away from it.
The only
can
time
do it.
that
I
phone
can.
shuts down is when I go to sleep.
So you still do it? You clear like
Yeah, I put it off.
You do?
Yeah, allow the phone to rest. And it lasts me a long time. Yeah, the phone lasts quite a while.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
Cool.
although some people have a problem with that, they're saying if it is an emergency, how they can reach me, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, they know the vibe already. You know that time there, you can't get me. It's true. Let the phone take some rest, man.
Take
Me
some
too.
rest.
And me too.
And you, yeah, I understand. And find out as well which city is the richest city in the world.
Which city is the richest
I'm
city
sure you know, I'm sure you
in the
know.
world?
Beijing.
By now.
No,
Taipei?
no,
You
no,
always say something about that city every time.
I do?
Yeah, man.
Can be Gaza?
When you say New York,
Should he?
yeah, that's what. How? Yeah.
That's the richest city
in the world.
in
yes.
the world, New York? Are you serious?
For 2025.
I wonder. Anyway, I guess you'll talk
Yeah,
about how they
yeah.
arrived at that. Wow, that's interesting.
Imagine that.
The Dow Jones average.
And as well, Niretti will be in the building as well at 2 p.m.
Who?
Niretti. She's in the finals of the Soca, the Groovy Monarch competition. It's her first time, so she'll be here at 2.
All right,
Yeah.
so that's coming up on with Keena until 3 o'clock this afternoon. From 3, as always, Zen the DJ until 6 this evening, and then 6 I come back here, God willing, between 6 and 7 for Doctor in the House. Yes. I think he has another interesting topic for tonight. So be sure to listen. I think he's talking about gout, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe he's talking. It's a problem that a lot of ladies in particular have.
Ladies?
Ladies?
Fellas have
Fellas that as well?
What?
I've never seen guys with that. I never.
Andre Richard Frederick always spoke about gout, especially when he was at HTS Radio 100.
HTS.
He had gout, man, Andre. Big time.
Yeah.
So it's a man? Yeah.
Both men and women do have it.
Oh yeah. And another partner, man, I won't mention his name. Yeah, that's cool. Junior Obeis. He's one also who listens to this radio program. Obeis, good morning to you.
My bad.
Oh.
That's why let me go and check again. I think he's talking about thyroid issues.
Thyroid
apologies.
issues.
My
Okay,
apologies.
all right, cool.
My apologies.
Yeah, a lot of women have that problem.
Right, so that's why I was getting mixed up.
Yeah,
So it's thyroid issues. Okay? Hopefully that's what he'll be talking about this evening. All right, so thank you very much, Tony. Thank you, Keena. And thank you, those of you checking us out on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on X, and also on DBS. Thank you so much for the time. Do enjoy the rest of your day. On behalf of Tony Paul and Keena, Andre Paul wishing you a great day. Join me again tomorrow morning, God willing, from 5 o'clock for another Wake Up and Live. So long.
Welcome to Dax, Castries, Groseley, and Rodney Bay. You want to wine and dine? I'll give you the facts. The best cuisine and entertainment is at Dax. Alex is all karaoke every Thursday. Old school and country with Andre Paul